when you have a boundary with your relationship and you're a man, you have a boundary. You think it's like, oh, you're just controlling this woman. No, you're making it better for you in the relationship because she's not going to embarrass you. But you're also making it better for her because she now has a man to look up to.
It's sad because on some level, some of them need money and they go to like prostitution, OnlyFans, stripping. And then once they get the money and they want to actually find love, they can't, because in the same breath that they want the guy to value, he's like, yo, you know what? You did this shit. Nah, I'm good. I'll smash you, but we're never going to get serious. Is there a way out for these ladies or no?
The out is to lower your standards.
That's 100% correct.
There will alwould be somebody with low enough standards to accept that.
That's the point I was trying to make before with Myron. Yeah,
There's
always a guy who's willing to date that.
But being honest here, she doesn't really want that guy.
No, of course not.
No.
Yeah, so is that really a way out?
But the answer is you end up not the answer, but the result is a 56% divorce rate, 52% for first marriage, 68% for second marriage, 73% for third marriage. That's ultimately what the result of what happens.
Let's also add into that, right? Compound that with birth control, right? Because a lot of these girls, if they're shooting boy girl content, right, on OnlyFans or whatever, they're probably going to be on birth control, right? And then they'll fall for the simpy guy, let's say, the more, I hate using this term, but the more beta guy, right?
Yeah.
Let's say
I hate those terms too. Why do we just embrace the suck, man? Come on, let's just go.
It's funny because like all our haters keep saying, "Oh, toxic alpha males." None of us use that fucking term, bro. Never. None of us.
Never.
Sorry, continue.
But anyway, they'll
Mm-hmm.
fall for that guy, right? Yeah. And then they'll decide to have a kid with that guy. And the moment they get off birth control, there's just been numerous studies on this. Like when they make massive different mate choices on birth control and off birth control. She's into the guy on birth control. She gets off it, has kids with him, and then ta-da! She doesn't find him attractive anymore, and she divorces his ass and takes the kid and gets child support.
And then you compound that with the fact that
proving the dual mating strategy. Just saying.
A lot of guys, let's be honest, when guys are in long-term relationships, especially after they have kids, they've done studies on this too. He becomes his T drops.
Yep.
He gets comfortable, doesn't go to the gym, etc. I mean, one of the iron rules of Tomasi that I agree with so much is like, don't cohabitate with a chick, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Like,
shacking up.
It will save you. Like for so many guys, right? Of course, unless your game is sharp and you understand certain things and you're able to navigate it appropriately, it is one thing. There's exceptions to the rule all the time. But in general, for most guys, it's not in your best interest to keep your S&B high. It's not in your best interest to live with your chick, bro. It really isn't. Oh, man, that's not practical, man. Like, what if we
share on rent?
You know what I mean? Like, bro, it's not practical. Look, man, I know getting another place that might be expensive, blah, blah, blah. But how much do you value the relationship? Like, are you willing to put your relationship at a higher risk by living with her? Because I'm telling you right now, bro, she's going to weaken you to a degree. You're gonna get complacent. You're gonna get fatter. You're gonna get softer. It is what it is, because women are naturally Okay, I'm just gonna say it. Do it. Women are naturally fucking lazy. Human beings are lazy in general, but at least with men, you have a very strong incentive to go out there and produce something because you understand that your value as a man is contingent upon what you create. Yeah. So you have a stronger incentive to go out there and fucking do something. Them, on the other hand, life is on easy mode, especially if they're fucking married. They're fulfilled, bro. Yeah. They're good. They got you. They got a house. Especially if you're the breadwinner, they're chilling. So they're going to be super lazy, and then your dumbass going to, especially if you follow your wife or whatever, like a lot of you guys, happy wife, happy life. I'm going to sit in and eat ice cream with her and get fat with her. Oh, yeah. Like, no, man, you're literally going to take an L doing that shit.
There's a famous broadcaster in LA that spoke about this. He calls women dream killers.
Yeah.
Tom Likas. And I give the example of my uncle in St. Augustine. And I've seen many relationships over a period of time, over my years here on Earth. I've seen girls on the show. And it's funny because this works. He lives in his own house, right? Couple blocks down.
Let's clarify something, though. He's been divorced 4 times.
No, not Tom Likas. I mean,
Tom Likas.
My uncle,
your
right?
friend, okay.
So he lives, right, separately from his girl. Separate house, huge house, 5 cars, lifestyle. But she lives down the block. Separate properties. But again, they come together, they go on dates, they travel, they go back home separately. And it works. But living with her, he could tell off rip, it would destroy things. So he knows.
Yeah, the Muslims have been practicing this for forever. Yeah. You go to like Saudi, you go to Dubai.
Yeah.
Look at the even Muslims who have multiple wives. What will happen? They'll have the main house where the husband sleeps, and the wives will have a separate place to sleep.
Yeah.
To create that distance. The way that I've
need
seen
it, bro.
Yeah, the way I've seen a lot of successful men do it is I mean, for a perfect example would be my friend Justin. Like, they're just traveling too much to be in one place all the time. Most guys can't do that practically.
Yeah.
So they have to artificially create that distance.
Yeah.
Because absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
She learns to understand exactly why she loves you, but when she misses you, that's the whole point of it.
Give her the gift of missing you.
You need that distance. You need to have that separation.
Yeah, dude. Like, I
agree.
Guys, I'm telling you, man, the more a chick sees you and everything, and the more available you are to her, the less attractive you are, dude. I hate to say it like that, but that's just how women are.
I can speak to this as a guy who's been married for 27 years, and yes, I'm looking at the chat like, oh, Rollo's been living with the same woman for 20. Yes, I have. I married her, you fucking idiot. I didn't say cohabitate. You know, you read the goddamn book before you start commenting. Stupid. But I was going to say is like,
To be fair, Rollo, you're never really home.
But yeah, I was going to say the traveling part. I got the traveling part down, right? But see, the thing is that there's it's not even like intentional dread or like creating any kind of competition anxiety or anything like that. It's just this is just what I do.
You're just
right?
busy.
And before that, I worked in the wine and spirits, right? And before that, I worked in casino marketing, right? So it's just a lifestyle. So when people say, Rollo, how come you're against marriage? I'm not fucking against marriage. I'm just against the way that we do it right now. And then also, most guys who get into the let's just watch Netflix and eat Ben and Jerry's together, that kind of shit like that. Yeah, when you get into those habits and stuff like that, yeah, you're fucking doomed. You know why you're doomed? Because you no longer have the same gravitas that you had when you were single. What I mean by that is that you don't have any of those opportunities to demonstrate higher value anymore. You don't have any opportunities for social proof or pre-selection like you did when you were single. So all that urgency and all that competition and anxiety and everything that made her want to fuck you when you were single, all of that just gradually turns down. Hell, the studies were guys who get married, their testosterone levels drop.
Yeah.
And when they get divorced, they go back up. Why the fuck do you think that happens in the human body?
Do you know some of the safest neighborhoods in America they're like in North Texas, and it's dual gun ownership, and these people have fences around their houses. Very happy neighborhoods. People like to live here because we have boundaries. When people have boundaries, they're very safe, fun neighborhoods. People, they feel comfortable letting their kids there. Legal gun ownership. Here's the reason why I'm bringing this up. When you have a boundary with your relationship and you're a man, you have a boundary. You think it's like, oh, you're just controlling this woman. No, you're making it better for you in the relationship because she's not going to embarrass you. But you're also making it better for her because she now has a man to look up to. Because you do not, it's not only do you not want to get cheated on, you don't want to be the man who would get cheated or take a woman back who got cheated on. That's the thing that you don't want to do. So having those boundaries, it's not just good for you, it's also good for her. She has more respect for you and the relationship's better because you get to lead.
A woman can trust you and feel safe with you when you have boundaries. If you don't have boundaries at all, if you're the kind of guy that is like a walking doormat, she cannot possibly feel safe with you.
Yes.
Because, I mean, if she can walk all over you, then the next guy can certainly walk all over you.
If I can get away with this with him, then I can get away with fucking him.
You were the guy who let me cheat. That's what happened, right? The girl cheated on you, and you took her back. In her mind, no matter what the parameters of the relationship are, you're the guy who took back the cheating girl. In her mind, she's like, what is wrong with him? He took back a cheating woman. Forget about it. Solipsistically, she can't look at it from a third person standpoint. She's just like, he took a person back who cheated.
It's almost like if you're getting beat up in a fight and you lose. And she's like, wow, this is my man that just lost?
Yeah, no, it's very similar, Well, actually, no, she is looking at it from a third person standpoint.
John Zerka.
She's looking down at it.
And I also want to say this.
I knew we were going there.
The problem why so many guys get disrespected by their girl and why, she's okay with doing the stupid hoe shit that she's doing even though she's in a relationship with you is, quite frankly, your girl doesn't fear you. And I'm not saying from a physicality standpoint, go out here and Sean Connery your girl. I'm not saying that. What I am saying, though, is that she needs to be scared.
Yes, Mr. Bond.
Yeah, she needs to be scared of you leaving her. And I've always said this, right? Right. If you're going to look at respect, right? Let's say it's a nice pizza. One of the required ingredients of this pizza of respect is fear. Okay, fear is the fucking cheese of the pizza, guys. Okay, if a girl doesn't fear you, she can't respect you. Think of the police. Why do you act nice a lot of the times? Hi, officer, how are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Because there's fear that you can go to jail. They have authority over you, right? Why do you speak to someone?
They might shoot you.
To default respect.
Why do you speak to your boss in a respectful manner? Well, you don't want to get fired from your job. Why do you speak to a guy who's significantly taller and stronger than you that could probably fuck your ass up? Why do you speak to them respectfully? Because there's a fear of potential violence.
Or your
Why do men
honor,
show
when
each
you're
other?
in court, your honor, you address the
You don't
judge
wanna
as
get
your
held in
honor
contempt or go
because
to
they
jail.
got your ass in their hands.
When you're around men that you don't necessarily know, why do you speak to them with respect? Because there's that unspoken potential of violence, okay? So what I'm saying here is that fear is a prerequisite that's required for your woman to respect you. And you're not going to get that respect through fear of violence. No, the fear of her leaving, of you leaving her. That's the problem why so many of you guys get disrespected by your girl. She knows you are not fucking going anywhere.
That's why
Yes.
I was just writing about this on
Doormat.
my Substack,
Walking
but it's
doormat.
also I was putting this out as a series of tweets recently about boundaries and the things that when like guys think I'm a hard ass when it comes to boundaries, because I say like if a girl wants to go, like say she wants to go on her girls' night out, or she wants to go on her like weekend to Vegas with the girls, and you know goddamn well why she wants to go and do that, right? We've had this question on this show before where like guys will say, well, my girlfriend asked me if it's okay if she goes on a girls' night out or she goes to Vegas for a weekend, blah, blah, blah.
They'll call me
what
usually.
do you do? What do I always say? I say, let her. Say, hey, go right ahead. Please do. Have a good time with the girlfriends. And as soon as she's out the door, you take all her shit, pack it up, and put it on the fucking sidewalk, and then you change the locks. Right? Because boundaries mean shit unless there is some consequences to it. And the only way that women understand what your boundaries are is if they touch the hot stove, as if there is there has to be a consequence for it. So you're not the kind of guy who talks about it, right? It's demonstrate, do not explicate. Boundaries must be demonstrated that if a woman is going to appreciate them. The moment you're talking about them and trying to give her an ultimatum, that's when just the very fact that you would need to do that means that her desire level isn't high enough to have the insight to know what your fucking boundaries would be in the first place. Yeah. I value this guy, as you were saying before, it's the fear, but the fear and the dread comes from an insight saying, I appreciate this guy so much, and I know he is so confirmedly high value that I don't want to fucking, lose this guy. Yeah. So maybe it's not a good idea if I have more desire to stay with this guy on the weekend than I do to go with my girls out on a girls' night out. Because if you were high enough value and she had high enough interest level in you, she would have the insight to know that, hey, maybe he wouldn't be cool with that. I'm just not going to do that. Or maybe he's so high value, and we've talked about this before, that I ought to voluntarily, of my own volition, take down my OnlyFans, take down my Instagram, rather than have him ask me in the first place, because I don't want there to be any confusion that he's the guy for me and he's the guy that I want to be with. So whenever we talk about like what do you bring to the table besides your pussy in your mouth and whatever, what's your value added, the one thing I always say is insight, because that insight is so rare in women. I mean, it is like extremely, extremely rare for women to think, okay, I can see how I appreciate how valuable this guy is, and therefore I'm going to voluntarily change my behavior because I recognize how valuable this guy is.